Hattie, and today I'm back with another speed build. And this time we are going to be building the magic teapot. Now, this magic teapot is going to be of a restaurant which is supposed to be specifically for drinking tea and also having like little snacks and things. You can actually turn it into a coffee bar if you don't have the new Sims 4 Dine Out game pack. You could do that if you wanted to. I just thought I would have it as a restaurant just to make it a little bit easier. And it would also bring a lot of Sims here. And I love when Sims show up and sit down at the tables because I really wanted that effect. But the idea is that this is going to be part of my new Let's Play Witches, and I thought that building a restaurant would be a really exciting thing to do. It could be somewhere that the Elder Witches go in their free time, and it could be like their local meetup place, and I really loved that for the Witches. Now, what actually inspired me to do this build in the first place was when I went back to England. I went back, I think, a few weeks ago now, but my husband took me to this pub, and he doesn't really like going to pubs very much, but it was like pub food, and I love that. I love that when going back to England because pub food is like one of my favourite things to have. So any local pubs, like I just love to go and support them and just go and have the food and try it and stuff. So yes, that was on the top of my agenda, but on the bottom of his. But I went to a pub and there was a group of old women and they were sat around a table, and I don't think I've ever heard a cattier conversation in my whole life. These women were just going for each other and it was just crazy and it was entertaining. Of course, they were having a very serious chat, but their chat actually inspired me to build this in the first place. So I was very happy that I got to listen to their really entertaining talk because it just brought me to this build, and that's what I love about it. I think that this is going to be a really cool place for the Elder Witches to go. Most of them are supposed to be elder, that's the whole point of the Elder Witches, but Hartia isn't. Hartia has a little bit of a different backstory, and Amelia's not as old as the others either. So there will be something that I will be explaining about Hartia, because she doesn't exactly have a proper place in the Elder Witches. She's actually there to fill a purpose, and it will be explained. And I think that maybe at the moment I'm not, because I don't want to spoil anything, but Hartia does have a very interesting backstory. And if you can guess it, I'll be incredibly impressed. And let me know what you think it is in the comments below. If you have been following the LP, then I would love to know what you think. But anyway, so this build, I also got inspired by Coralina, and I just thought that this would be a really cool idea to create a Victorian styled house or restaurant or anything like that. And I love this for this particular area because this is almost opposite. It's almost opposite the Goth's house, and they have like a really Victorian-y home, and I've always loved that house. I don't know if anyone else gets this, but I feel like the Goths are the definition of the Sims for me. I just absolutely love them. And all the way through, I think from the Sims 2, potentially to the Sims 1 or the original Sims, I think that they were in it as well, but all the way through I've had an attachment with the Goths. So even in this LP, I just didn't remove that family because I'm just so attached to them. I absolutely love them. So yeah, I think it fits in really nice with our house because it does sort of match in a way. So if you did want to have a very Victorian neighbourhood, then this would be really cool and exciting. And I love when people get inspired by my builds. In fact, recently I noticed that on the gallery, there are loads and loads of creations with like inspired little things about the Witches Let's Play, and that is absolutely amazing to see. So I love looking through hashtags on the Sims 4 gallery. And if you do want to create anything for the LP, then there is a hashtag which is HattyLPWitches, and that will have everything under. So if you want to create something for the Let's Play and you don't even know what it is, like it could be something really random and you just don't know what to hashtag it under, you can hashtag it under that and I will find it because I looked through every single one, and that's where I actually found the family that are going to be owning this home. And they were actually made by a simmer called Wallflower Woes, and they are the potion vendors. And I was just looking randomly for inspiration and I saw the couple and I thought, oh my goodness, I absolutely love them. They are just what I wanted because I think that they are going to be really perfect owners of this. So I know it's not exactly a potion shop, but it's like a potion restaurant, so hope that's okay as well. But I absolutely love the idea of them and they're just so unique and they just went really well with the Let's Play. So yeah, I was really happy to see them. The build probably took me about 2 hours to build in total with the interior and the exterior. And it's not one of my fastest builds, but I think that it was okay. I think it turned out quite nicely. I have also spent a lot longer on other builds, so I was pretty happy with only spending 2 hours on it. I've also got another build coming up really soon, which is of an Indian inspired restaurant, and that is going to be more or less the same amount of time that I spent on that as I did with this. But unfortunately, for the next week, I won't be as regular with my videos, and I really hate to say this in my videos, I really do. But the reason is because I'm getting my new puppy, and I think that I'm collecting it on Thursday, but I'm just not sure. I would love to collect her on Thursday, but it just depends on whether my husband can get work off, and then we can. But I am going away, so that just means that for the next few days or so, my videos might be a little bit irregular, but it's because of that, and they will be back to normal when she does come home with us and she does settle down in the house. And of course, if she's feeling fine, if she's relaxed in the home, then that's when I can start recording videos again. But until then, it's just going to be really making sure that she's okay. Because when I first got my dog Teddy, he's going to be having a sister. So he's actually 2 years old, and I got him a while ago, so 2 years ago. Well, actually less than that, because I collected him when he was about 9 weeks old. So yes, when I first got him, it was really lovely, but he needed lots of peace and quiet because he needed some time to get used to the house. And I always think it's important to maybe make sure that they adjust properly, and I want her to adjust properly. I'm here a lot of the time actually. In fact, I hardly ever leave the house. It's actually very rare when I do. So yeah, I only really leave the house to go shopping or take my dog for a walk, and I think that's pretty much it. But I really don't. So it's quite nice, of course, that I'll be here all the time to make sure that she's okay, and that was really helpful with Teddy as well, because that's something that I think that he really liked. But of course, it just means that he's very clingy, like when I go on holiday and stuff. But he usually comes with me anywhere. I usually actually take him on the plane with me, and he usually comes in a little bag with me, which is like a little dog friendly bag, and you can take the dogs on the plane with you. We only tend to take him on quite short flights though, so maybe for an hour and at a push 2 hours. But the last time I took him from Germany to Switzerland, he actually escaped from the bag, and it was so embarrassing because you're not allowed your pets out on the plane. And he just crawled under about 3 seats, I think. And somebody ended up catching him, and I was just so happy that the person wasn't afraid of dogs. But yeah, so we need to do something with the zipper on the bag because it's a little bit loose at the moment. But it's fine now, and when we saw the problem, we fixed it. But it was so frightening. But yeah, we're really looking forward to getting 2, and I'm also thinking about doing a vlog. So hopefully when we go and get Maisie, which is my youngest dog, or we haven't got her yet, but when it happens, there will be a vlog coming up on my channel, and you'll get to see her with me. And of course, if you do want to see pictures of her, there are some pictures on Twitter as well. She is so cute. She's a little Blancas Ventnor. I don't know how many people have heard of that breed, but it's actually my favourite dog breed. And I researched a lot about her, and the dog breed is quite popular in Germany and also Switzerland. It's originally a Russian breed, but it's quite rare in some places. And she was very difficult to track down, but I really wanted another one after seeing how incredible Teddy was, and he's just amazingly well behaved. And when I saw Maisie's mum, that's when I just absolutely fell in love because she's so cute as well. But anyway, this was when I was trying to change the colour of the build. Now I wanted to make it a little bit brighter at this point, and I actually changed my mind because I actually preferred it dark and gloomy. And I think that the dark and gloominess really suits it. Now, of course, this build is going to look better in the evening. I would love to know what you do with that after you, of course, download it, because I love to know what people do with my builds after you download them. And if you do, then let me know, because I would love to hear. And I think that it's interesting because you could really do a lot with it. And what I love about this is it could actually be a shop as well. You could really change it into something else, because what we have here is we have like a staircase going up to the right, and that's going to be somebody else's house, and that will be, of course, the owner's home, but it's a separate entrance, and I absolutely love that. So of course they can go up the staircase, the ordinary staircase, but I love that idea being a main doorway or something like that. So I was pretty happy. And what I was also doing is I was trying to figure out where on earth I was going to stick that massive stained glass window. Now, I tried really hard to fit that in the build, and I just couldn't find a good place for it to fit. I have no idea who created that window, but I'd love to know what was inspired by that, because honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a window like that in my whole life. I think the closest that I've ever came to seeing a window like that was in a barn conversion one time, and it was a really odd barn conversion. I mean, I absolutely love barn conversions, but this home was more like a stables, and it was really crooked. If you can imagine the crooked house in the nursery rhymes, it was pretty much that. But yeah, it was really, really unusual, and I've always dreamed of living in a barn conversion, actually. That's something that I've really wanted all my life, and I think that if I ever do go back to England and I go move there, then I will. And it's pretty likely that I will. I think that right now I'm a little bit eager to move, and the reason why is because I have had some crazy problems with my neighbours. Now, I do want to do a separate video on this, but to be quite honest, I've been so frightened of doing it, because sometimes they are around the house. I think they do it on purpose, but they always walk around my house, and it's really odd. Not actually inside my house, of course, that would be even weirder. They actually walk on the outskirts of my home, and I don't know whether it's just to intimidate me. But basically, the woman that lives next door is incredibly, incredibly aggressive. And she's been aggressive for the past, I'm going to say, few months. My dog was playing in the garden, and I noticed that her dog jumped over my hedges. And I love all dogs, so I honestly didn't mind, and I was absolutely fine with it, especially because I know that her dog is friendly, and I've petted him before that, and he was a really nice, friendly dog. So he came into the garden, and she ran into the garden after him, so she opened my gate and came in and collected him and sort of waved and smiled, and I absolutely said that it's fine, don't worry, I love dogs, and it's fine with me. And a week later, my dog did the same back to her. Now, I strongly believe that what happened was, after this happened, I feel like my dog was really curious to see where the other dog came from. So that is why this happened. And basically, after that, it all kicked off. So I went to collect my dog after about 10 seconds of him escaping, and I turned around and this woman was like an absolute prune in the face, and she was so aggressive with me. So after that, she's been really, really nasty. But it was actually last weekend when I noticed that outside my window, I have these massive windows, by the way, I noticed that there was a caravan parked right outside the window, and I could actually see somebody cooking in the kitchen. It was that close. It was like the window was almost touching my window. So I don't have a blind working on that window at the moment, so it was really, really awkward, because they could see in and I could see out, and it was just horrid. And I asked them how long they were going to be there for, and they said they don't know, probably all weekend. So I was not happy. So I basically went and told the landlady, and she went to obviously tell them, but they didn't know that it was me that reported it. And anyway, the woman sort of knew already that it was me, so she basically stood outside my house for 30 minutes. She was being really aggressive, and I did not go out. Like, I did not leave my house whatsoever, but I was just looking at her through the kitchen, and it was just so odd. Like, I've never ever known a woman like this in my whole life. Yeah, that is basically what's happening at the moment, so of course I'll keep you updated with that. I know I do talk about some really weird stories on my speed builds at the moment. I usually talk about MSC Cruise USA as well, but no sign on my Henry bags. So if you're wondering, no, absolutely nothing. I would actually pass it off as maybe a mistake or a lost bag if it was one bag, but the fact that it's two separate bags that don't look anything like each other makes me feel like it was a theft. But anyway, so going back to the build, I don't mean to be depressing, I just have not got any good news, apart from, of course, I'm getting Maisie, and that's really exciting. But let me know if you have any good news in the comments below, because I would love to hear about good news. I love hearing about good news, and of course it's fantastic to hear good news coming from other people. But anyway, this was when I was working on the Elder Witch's room. So this is supposed to be the very, very super exclusive room that they're going to have. And the idea is that this is going to be completely locked off for anybody else. Now, I actually realised that when I was filming part 2 of Let's Play Witches, that the curtains were a really old colour. But basically, I had the curtains being a really old colour by the end, and I wasn't happy with it. I shouldn't have done it. And I decided to leave them like that. I don't know why that was. I think it was because it was really late when I was building this house. That is never a good excuse, but I think it was. I think that was the reason. But I will change them. So before it is on the Sims 4 gallery, those curtains will be changed. And it's not even in this room, so I don't even know why I'm talking about it in this room. But anyway, so this was when I was putting in the standard tables for everybody else. So the idea is that everybody else is going to be cramped in this room. It's going to be still a nice place to go, and still a nice place to have tea and witchy food, because that's the idea for this. So I would actually like a lot more tea options to have, like green tea and herbal tea and all that stuff. I don't even know if that's the same thing. I'm honestly not that into tea, and my mum really is. She has all these fancy flavours of tea and she just buys it. I don't even know if she drinks it. I think she just collects tea. It's really odd. But yeah, she has like a massive pile of just various tea bags that are all different flavours, and it just puzzles me. But no, I'm only into English tea really, and that's all I like. I'm pretty plain when it comes to tea. Let me know what your favourite tea is in the comments below if you even drink tea. But this was when I was finishing off the room. Now I did put some plants in because if you know me, I love plants. I absolutely do. And it's something that reminds me a little bit of a garden centre. And I think that the reason why I put in so many plants, especially in communal builds, or well, builds like this, I suppose it is a communal build technically, but the reason is because I used to go to this greenhouse when I was younger, and it was actually on the back of my home. It was really odd. We didn't go there that much though. It was a real treat to go there, even though it was literally next door. So yeah, we went there, and that had, of course, plants everywhere, and you could sit down, you could get a coffee, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was my favourite place to go. And it was mainly because they had some really weird birds there. Now that is the strangest thing to say, I know it is. But there was this massive hawk that I was obsessed with. And I got to hold the hawk one time. And you could get like a special badge or something if you went so many times. And it was really interesting. But they had like all sorts of owls there. And it wasn't the fact that they were keeping them just so that they would be pets or anything. They were actually keeping them because they were injured one time or something like that. And they had reasons for being there. Like, it wasn't as if they just collected them from the wild for no reason. It was the fact that these animals could be recovering from something, or they found them in a bad situation. So it was really nice, and it was helpful. And I love the idea of these animals being able to socialise with humans. I love that. And it was really odd, but I just loved it. And I was obsessed with hawks for a really long time. And hawks have always scared me a little bit because they're absolutely huge. Same with crows and pigeons as well. Oh my goodness. When I was really young, I always used to hate pigeons because one time I dropped my biscuit on the floor and this pigeon just went at it, and I was only about 6 years old, but I still remember it now. But yeah, so anyway, going back to this build. So this room, intentions for the build was that this room would be very red and gold. Now the curtains in the end ended up being purple, and I know that I've pointed that out. I really shouldn't point out the bad things in my builds because I think that after I say it, everybody else is going to realise it and be like, oh my goodness, she messed up big time. But no, they didn't end up being like that. I have no idea why I changed them to purple. It was really odd, but I did. They will be like that when you go and download it off the Sims 4 gallery and how you see it. This was a standard bathroom though. I thought it would be important to have a shower, and my reasoning behind having a shower there is it was requested in my last build, my last restaurant build, that I put a shower in, and I thought that it may fit in with the witches because the people around the town are all going to be some sort of crazy thing. Like, you're gonna have zombies, you're gonna have witches, pumpkins, princesses, really odd things around the town. So I thought, what if there was like this species of person? I don't know if that's a thing. What do you call it? I don't know. This different type of person, sort of like a zombie who needed to bath before a meal, just something really random, like a water person that would come into the build and would need to shower before they ate. I have no idea, but that's what I was thinking. It was a really random thought, but yeah, it just came to me whilst I was making this build, so I thought, why not go for it? This was the kitchen anyway, so the kitchen does look pretty standard at this point. I think it looks a lot better by the end, and the reason is because it has some crazy potions in it. Now, I love potions, and potions was something that I really enjoyed putting in the original witch house when I built it. So this was an absolute treat for me to do. I loved doing the show hidden objects. And I have got a lot of questions recently, how I do things, how I do certain cheats and things. The only ones I use is show hidden objects, BB move objects, and BB ignore gameplay unlocks entitlement, which is a crazy cheat. I have no idea why it's that long. It definitely shouldn't be that long. But yeah, I only use 3 of them, I think. I can't remember which other ones I use. I don't think I do. That's the only ones for building I use. And to enlarge an object, I think after pressing BB move objects, you just press the shift key and it enlarges. It's like the shift and another key that I can't remember. It's like a bracket key. And that should work. That should size it up and down. So that is pretty much that. So that question's been popping up a lot recently. So if you're wondering, if you just happen to be watching this video, I really hope it helps. And of course, you'll get the cheats online anyway if you search them. They'll probably be on The Sims VIP, which is my actual best friend at the moment. I'm not even joking. I've spent so much time on The Sims VIP just because it's been really helping me out with my Let's Play. Because it's been giving me all the advice and things about playing the game that I just don't know. I'm pretty much treating myself like a beginner while I'm doing the LP because I don't think I'm that confident with the gameplay. I'm a really, really bad multitasker, so what I try and make up for is the storyline rather than actually doing things that would require me multitasking. So I don't know how many people have realised that, but yeah, I'm absolutely awful at multitasking. And this is perfect for me. I love doing speed builds because I can just talk and yeah, it's absolutely fine. I can do it while I'm speaking and I can actually tell you about the build and stuff, but sometimes it's difficult when I multitask. I find it pretty tricky. But yeah, so this is how the room was finishing off. Now this door will be locked for everybody. It was really nice to see because I actually had the potion vendors working here. I got the restaurant up to about 3 stars. Now I have no idea if that is any relevance to how it is just normally generated in the world because I didn't see the potion vendors whilst I was using this build and that upset me. But I did get up to level 3 and I also really enjoyed the fact that I got to hire the Grim Reaper as the chef and to just see him cooking in the kitchen was incredible. And of course it wasn't the official Grim Reaper, it was one that I got off the Sims 4 gallery that was just a townie because I've put loads and loads of townies in this world, but it's very, very helpful. So I'm really appreciating all the random townies. The more different they are, the better it is. So I'm not necessarily just looking for a random pack of witches, I'm looking for all different types of Sims, like witches, zombies, fairies, anything that is spooky or Halloweeny. I mean, fairies aren't really scary, but that's the sort of idea I'm going for. So any fancy dress, costume, you can even make some things up. I've seen some really cool werewolves as well. So thank you to the people that have done that because that's definitely inspired me. I won't give too much away, but that's really inspired me for the future of the LP, and I don't know when that's going to be happening. That may be even happening very, very late in the Let's Play, but hopefully it will. But anyway, this was the staff toilets, or at least the person that owns the shop or restaurant or cafe or anything you want to call it. It's a tea shop. So yeah, this is where their bathroom is. I used this really old wooden furniture because it's so medieval looking and I loved it. I thought it went really, really well. So I was definitely excited to be able to use it because it looks handmade as well, which I really like. And I don't think I've ever used that before, or at least I can't remember using it. So that was what it ended up like. But up here was really, really simple. I thought I would leave it so that you could really decorate it however you wanted it to be. It's just really basic and it's there to fill a purpose. So it's there to move straight in on if you want to. But anyway, that is the end of the build. So I really hope you enjoyed it and I hope to see you for the Let's Play. Thank you so much for watching and I'll speak to you all soon.